I have done a lot of Project Life videos in the past, and the layout videos are new to me, so fair warning, bear with me, and we'll see what we can do. So this layout will be showing up on the 2P's website in September, and so I kind of have a general idea of where I'm going with it, and I thought I would take you guys along for the ride. So I generally use white cardstock. Because the September theme is fall, I decided to use craft. Back in the day I used craft pretty much exclusively, so it's going to be interesting to see how this comes together. But ahead of time, what I did is I trimmed a piece of ledger pattern paper, and I trimmed the craft down, and when I assembled it back together with a piece of washi, it's back to a 12 by 12. So this paper actually has a fold in it, but I'm cool with that, and I'm not going to worry about it. So this is my starting point. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to have my photo and my paper layers on this side, and I think my embellishments on this side, and I've gone ahead and added paint splatters. Generally I work in the middle of a page, so I can easily splatter ahead of time, and I usually know where that will be visible. So let's start. So what I did was I grabbed a bunch of pattern papers that are kind of based off of this one card. This card is from the Basic Gray Hipster Snippet Pack, which is a lot of different size of cards. And I liked that this one had the flowers in kind of the more fall colors, and I don't get to use that a lot, so I thought I would sneak that in on this page about my boys. So what I did is I went through my scrap bucket, and I found a bunch of papers that kind of had some of the colors in here, and what I'm going to do is I always start from the top and work down. So that would be the photo, and I'm going to started on here. I had already typed Exploring the Yard on here, and I had started too high, so either I'm going to bump my photo down and cover that up, or I'll just leave it at the top and cover that with like an enamel dot or something like that. But so I'm basically going to go and just start playing with my layers and just moving them up and down into the side a little bit until I'm happy with them. Okay, and I'm going to stick a tag in here too, I think, just because I have this empty space there. Okay, and I think I'm good with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to staple this down. Just way faster than gluing, and I'm just going to curl up some of my edges. This may become a problem if I decide to sew through there, so I'm just going to have to be very careful when I do that. Okay, but the picture I'm just going to glue on. Yeah, so I'll have to cover that later with something because I like this how it is. Okay, and my embellishments on this side, so I have a card from October Afternoon. It's actually from the 9 to 5 line, and it talks about secretary, but whatever, I still liked it, so we'll stick it there. And then I had some embellishments that I grabbed that were kind of fall-ish. So this is actually probably quite gross to most people, but this is actually a feather that my boys found, so I may use that. I also have a layered leaf that I sewed with some book paper and a piece of pattern paper. This is from the new cut and paste from My Mind's Eye, which is really, really pretty. So I used that. So that. And for fall, I wanted to bring in some wood grain. So I have the little crate file. Boy, I just can't think of the word. Slide. Frame. Anyway, and then some of these things, and to bring in some wood again, and some green, and some more wood, and a little brad. So I basically am going with the blue yellow and the red color scheme, and then I threw in some green. So now I'm just going to start playing around with these things, and I'm going to see if I can maybe put this in kind of a grid type design. Maybe that's what I want to do. Okay, and I have the brads from Basic Gray, and I thought maybe either a button or a brad would fit in that frame. Okay, there's no orange anywhere, but I'd still like to use this Let's Go. It's the arrow's pointing that other way, which kind of irks me a little bit, but I think I'm going to use it anyway. So I like to keep them on the backing and then just move them around until I know for sure which one I want. So, okay. And I like this coming off a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to use this. But yeah, so it's just a lot of moving and shuffling around. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is try to remember that as best I can. Okay, and now I'm going to start gluing down because I think I pretty much know where I want this to go. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of eyeball the center of the craft section. And I'm just going to stick them down there. And this I'll probably sew down. As long as I have room, I can adhere now. So, yep, I like this. I'm happy with it. So now it's time to commit to it, which sometimes is my biggest... Oh, let's see, that's a little too high. Higher than it was before. Sometimes actually committing to it is my biggest problem, and I just have to tell myself to just glue it. It's good, just glue it down. Okay. This is a chipboard from the Simple Stories travel line that was just out a little while ago. Okay, and that I'm going to have to sew down with the needle and thread at some point. So, okay, I'm going to stick this on later because I actually think that I'm going to want to sew right through here and then have that sitting on top of the thread just to add a little dimension. So I'll leave that off from now. And I will grab my paper piercer and stick a hole for my brad. I'm very sure this is a Basic Gray brad, excuse me, but it's very old, so I can't really be certain, but I'm like 95% sure. I think because most of my fabric brads are from Basic Gray, so. Okay, and then, yeah, I think I'm going to do my feather and the leaf. And I'll see. Okay, yeah, I'll stick it under the photo. Or maybe not, because lesson learned, paper and feathers don't really adhere well to each other. Whoever thought that you would need to know that, right? Okay, so that tells me that I'm going to want to just either sew across or just re-sew this stitch in the middle and then actually sew it down to the paper. So, okay, so this little wood veneer from Studio Calico. I like to leave my wood veneer raw. I just like the warmth and the texture that the wood has. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead to my sewing machine. Oops, I was going to put some washi on. And then I'll head to my sewing machine. And I will sew everything down, and then I will be back to add the rest of it. Okay, so I've gone to my sewing machine and I've sewn down the feather and the leaf again, and I sewed a tag back onto the top, so I had to go through there again, and some more stitches just in random places. And I saw now I didn't sew on my washi, so I might go back and do that, I'm not sure. Actually, I'm not going to. Instead, I'm just going to curl this up. And then it looks like it's supposed to be loose and all is good. And it'll probably flatten in my page protector, but that's alright. So now I'm just going to go and just raise some of the corners of things that I didn't done and fluff up my leaf a little bit. Okay, so I have a brad that needs to go back into the top here, so I will do that. That tag is from the Basic Gray card postal pack. And I have my badge. And my button that I still didn't stitch down, so I will do that yet. I think I'm going to add, I used to always think of myself as doing my stitching at the end, but I've come to realize that I kind of continue embellishing after I have everything stitched down. So I'm just going to, so I divide my layout into basically assembly, stitching, and then small embellishments maybe would be a better way to phrase it. Okay, so I've got to cover up this E, and I don't have a lot of the blue peeking through, so I think I'm going to try to bring that in with some smaller items. So I have this, which I think is probably going to pop up. Nope, it's going to hold it down. Okay, and I want to tie in that orange a little bit too, because I don't have a lot of that, and I don't want them to look like they're totally afterthoughts. Okay, I had brought out, this is old again, and I'll have to check if it's still available in the shop, but some Crate Acorn Avenue embellishments. Okay, I have it in upside down. So I'm just going to double check if there's anything I want to use here. And then maybe we'll just use a little chipboard button. This is one of those things that I purchased and then hoarded. Okay, so I think, again, I'm going to bring in that blue, so I'm just going to take this little piece here. And it's not a lot, but I think it's going to be enough. I just don't know where. Okay, I'm going to put something over there. I like the idea that something is kind of holding that together, but it won't be this. So this is going to go, maybe I'm going to put it here. Nope, don't like stripes by stripes. Okay, I'm going to stick it up there. So for the same reason I'm going to be putting something half on this leaf and feathers, the same reason I put something half on here, so it kind of looks like these two pieces are being brought together, and same here. So I think I'm going to just do another, yeah, I'm just going to do another enamel dot, and that's going to be great. Perfect. Okay. So that is the majority of it. So I'm going to go back and sew this down and add my journaling either along here or in here. And then I will be back with the finished page. Okay, so now we're all finished. I have my button glued down and I've added my journaling. And a date stamp. I didn't bother to check the actual date, but I did know it was in October from last year. So when I was looking at this page when it was finished, I realized that I started with like a really simple like 2-section grid, and then I placed another grid in here, and I kind of thought that maybe that might be a nice sketch. So if I have time, I'll maybe develop that into a sketch. It might be kind of cool to see it on paper, to like tilt it and tweak it and whatnot. But anyway, yeah, so you will see this finished page in the two-piece gallery, and thank you for watching and listen to me ramble, and have a great day.